On October 31st, 2019, a college senior was reported missing. Within days, police confirmed she had been killed. Her body was found inside a plastic container in a wooded park miles from her apartment. Investigators would later determine she never left that apartment alive. Alexis Crawford was 21 years old. She was a senior at Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia, where she was majoring in criminal justice. At the time, she was completing her final year of coursework and living off campus while finishing her degree. Alexis was originally from Athens, Georgia. She grew up in a large household with multiple siblings and moved to Atlanta for college, living independently while remaining involved in family life back home. While attending Clark Atlanta University, Alexis lived at the Heritage Station apartment complex. She shared the apartment with another Clark Atlanta student, Jordan Jones. The two met through the university and became friends before deciding to live together off campus. Friends and family later described Alexis and Jordan as best friends. Jordan was familiar with Alexis's family and had spent time with them during holidays and visits. At the time, Alexis was single. Jordan was in a relationship, and her boyfriend, Baron Brantley, was part of her social circle. Living together meant daily interaction. Alexis and Jordan shared common areas, coordinated use of the apartment, and navigated the routines and responsibilities of off-campus student life. Alexis managed her own schedule and daily logistics while attending school full-time. She communicated regularly through phone calls, text messages, and social media as part of her everyday routine while living in Atlanta. This was the environment Alexis occupied, academically, socially, and personally, as she continued her life in Atlanta. In late October 2019, Alexis continued attending classes at Clark Atlanta University while living at the Heritage Station apartment she shared with Jordan Jones. On the afternoon of October 30th, Alexis spoke with her mother and one of her sisters by video call. During the conversation, she asked for money to be sent through a mobile payment app. The transfer was completed shortly afterward. That evening, Alexis exchanged text messages with another sister, who asked if she had plans. Alexis replied that she did not. Later that night, Alexis posted to her Instagram account just after 9 p.m. Within the next 20 minutes, she responded to a direct message from a friend. After that point, no calls were made from her phone, no messages were sent, no additional activity appeared on her social media accounts. The next morning, calls to Alexis went unanswered. Messages did not receive replies. She did not appear for scheduled classes. She did not report for a work shift she was expected to attend. As hours passed, family members began reaching out, calling friends, classmates, and people Alexis spent time with, asking if anyone had seen or heard from her. No one reported contact with her after the previous evening. By November 1st, with no communication and no confirmation of her whereabouts, Alexis's family filed a missing person report with Atlanta police. After the missing person report was filed, efforts to locate Alexis expanded across Atlanta. Family members began distributing flyers and continued contacting anyone who might have seen her. Clark Atlanta University was notified, and campus officials circulated her information to students and staff. Social media posts asking for help locating Alexis spread beyond her immediate circle. Atlanta police canvassed areas near the Heritage Station apartment complex and contacted local hospitals and clinics to check for any unidentified patients. As those efforts continued, attention returned to the Heritage Station apartment Alexis shared with Jordan Jones. Jordan told investigators that on the night of October 30th, she and Alexis had left the apartment together. According to her statement, she drove Alexis to a nearby convenience store a short distance from their building. Surveillance footage from the store later confirmed Alexis was inside the store that night. The video showed her walking through the aisles and briefly interacting with the cashier. She did not appear distressed. Jordan stated that after they returned to the apartment, she saw Alexis in the living room. She said Alexis planned to sleep there that night. Jordan told investigators that she then went to her bedroom and went to sleep. Jordan reported that when she woke up the following morning, Alexis was no longer in the apartment. She said there was no sign that Alexis had slept in the living room. The blanket and pillow were undisturbed. Jordan told police she looked through the apartment and noticed that Alexis's phone, identification, and bank card were missing. Alexis's charger and some personal items remained behind. The front door was locked. Jordan said she believed Alexis may have gone out during the night. She told investigators she did not know where Alexis had gone. At that point, Alexis had not been located, and no confirmed sightings had been reported after the convenience store visit the night before. As the search for Alexis continued, her family remained visible throughout the city, holding prayer gatherings and speaking publicly in hopes of bringing her home. Friends, students, and community members gathered alongside them, sharing updates and repeating pleas for information. The focus remained on finding Alexis alive. During one of these gatherings, the family's pastor addressed those in attendance. He spoke briefly and did not offer details, but his words drew attention. He said Alexis had been going through a difficult time in the days before she disappeared. He added that she had recently experienced something no woman should have to endure. No further explanation was given. The statement circulated publicly while Alexis was still missing. At the same time, investigators continued reviewing information connected to the Heritage Station apartment. They re-examined earlier police contacts and reports linked to the address. That review led them back to an incident that had occurred several days before Alexis was last seen. An incident that had already been documented. 3 days before Alexis disappeared, she went to Grady Memorial Hospital. She arrived there on October 27th. Alexis was not there for a routine visit. She was there to report something that had happened inside the apartment she shared with Jordan Jones. What Alexis told hospital staff was serious enough to trigger an immediate forensic exam. She told them she believed she had been sexually assaulted. The person she named was Baron Brantley, Jordan's boyfriend. According to the report Alexis gave that day, the incident had happened after she, Jordan, and Baron had been drinking together at the apartment. At some point that night, Jordan went into her bedroom. Alexis told authorities that Baron later approached her and made unwanted advances. She said she rejected him. He told her he thought she was Jordan. Alexis said she went into the bathroom and locked the door. After that, her memory went blank. When she regained consciousness, she said her clothing was disturbed and torn. Baron was partially undressed. Jordan was banging on the bathroom door, demanding it be opened. When the door finally opened, Baron immediately denied assaulting Alexis. By the time police arrived at the apartment, Baron had already left, taking Jordan's car with him. The 911 call placed that morning did not mention Alexis or an assault. It reported a stolen vehicle. Alexis went forward with the hospital exam anyway. Evidence was collected. A report was filed. An investigation began. But results would take time. In the days that followed, Alexis did not feel safe in the apartment. She told friends she was afraid to sleep in her bedroom. She began staying in the living room instead. Jordan knew what had happened. Jordan knew Alexis had gone to the hospital. Jordan knew a report had been filed against her boyfriend. And yet, Baron was still being allowed inside the apartment. Alexis did not know that. By October 30th, the day she was last seen, Alexis was living in the same space where the man she accused of assault had quietly returned. The police investigation into the October 27th incident was still open, and Alexis was still waiting. Once the police report was filed, everything changed quietly, but decisively. The allegation Alexis made on October 27th immediately narrowed the scope of the investigation. Detectives now had a name, a location, and a small circle of people connected to her last known movements: Jordan Jones and her boyfriend, Baron Brantley. Officers returned to the Heritage Station apartment complex to begin formal follow-up. At that point, Alexis was still considered a missing person, but the situation was no longer treated as routine. Jordan confirmed to investigators that Alexis had accused Baron of assault. She acknowledged that the incident had caused tension inside the apartment. She also told police that after the report was filed, Alexis no longer felt comfortable sleeping in her bedroom and had moved to the living room. Jordan stated that after the incident, she and Alexis were no longer on speaking terms. She did not mention that Baron had returned to the apartment. As part of the missing person investigation, officers searched the apartment. Nothing appeared overturned. No obvious signs of violence were visible. Alexis's personal items were largely accounted for, but her phone, ID, and debit card were missing. Inside the bathroom, investigators noted a small drop of blood. At the time, it was not enough to indicate a violent crime. It was documented and collected, but the search continued. With the focus now fixed on the apartment, detectives widened their review of surveillance footage from Heritage Station. They mapped the cameras, they logged timestamps, they tracked vehicle movement. What emerged did not match Jordan's original account. Video from the parking area showed Jordan's car moving during the early morning hours of October 31st. The vehicle was positioned near the building entrance, then backed into an area partially shielded from the camera's view. The timing placed the movement shortly before 3 a.m. More importantly, it placed Baron Brantley at the complex at a time Jordan had not disclosed, after Alexis had already reported him to police. Detectives brought Jordan back in. They walked her through the footage step by step. They asked her to explain what the camera showed. They asked her why Baron was there. Jordan's answers began to shift. She said Baron had returned briefly. She said there had been an argument inside the apartment. She said things escalated faster than she expected. Investigators noted the changes. They pressed again. Jordan admitted Alexis had been inside the apartment when Baron returned that night. She said a confrontation followed. She said voices were raised. She said she lost control of the situation. The explanation still didn't account for the footage, or for the missing phone, ID, and bank card. Detectives asked about the bathroom. They asked about the blood. They asked about the living room. At that point, the questioning stopped being hypothetical. Jordan was told directly that investigators believed Alexis had never left the apartment alive. After a pause, Jordan then told investigators she knew where Alexis was. She asked for her father to be present. With him there, she agreed to lead police to a location. Later that day, officers followed Jordan out of the city. They drove east into DeKalb County. About 11 miles from the apartment, near Exchange Park, Jordan directed them to a wooded area off the roadway. Police secured the scene. What they found there ended the search. Alexis Crawford had not disappeared. She had been taken there. Officers secured the wooded area near Exchange Park and began a methodical search. Not far from where Jordan directed them, investigators located a large plastic storage container concealed among brush and debris. Inside the container was the body of Alexis Crawford. She had been killed. The medical examiner later determined that Alexis died from asphyxiation. The location, condition of the container, and the way it had been concealed made clear that her body had been transported there deliberately. Once the discovery was confirmed, the missing person investigation officially became a homicide case. Atlanta police moved immediately. That same day, arrest warrants were obtained for both Jordan Jones and Baron Brantley. They were taken into custody and charged in connection with Alexis's death. Investigators returned to the Heritage Station apartment with expanded authority. This time, the search was different. Using forensic tools, including luminol, technicians examined the living room and surrounding areas. Despite visible cleaning, investigators detected biological traces in multiple locations within the apartment, evidence that a violent event had occurred there. The apartment was identified as the primary crime scene. Surveillance footage, forensic findings, and Jordan's statements now formed a single, consistent timeline. According to information later released by police, the confrontation that led to Alexis's death occurred in the early morning hours of October 31st. Investigators concluded that both Jordan Jones and Baron Brantley were present and actively involved. After Alexis was killed, her body was placed inside the plastic container. The apartment was cleaned, the container was transported using Jordan's vehicle, and Alexis was left in the wooded area in DeKalb County. Afterward, Jordan and Baron returned to the apartment. Later that same day, Jordan sent messages to friends as if nothing had happened. She asked one friend to replace the missing storage bin. She also participated in public posts about Alexis being missing. Baron and Jordan were both formally charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and concealing the death of another. The news sent shockwaves through Clark Atlanta University. Classes were disrupted. Homecoming events were cancelled. Students gathered in silence outside campus buildings. What began as a search for a missing student had ended with the arrest of two people Alexis knew. One of them her roommate, the other her roommate's boyfriend. The focus now shifted from investigation to prosecution. And for Alexis's family, the search had ended, but the waiting was only beginning. Jordan Jones and Baron Brantley were brought before a judge within days of their arrests. Both entered pleas of not guilty. Despite the severity of the charges, neither accepted responsibility in court. Each, through their attorneys, attempted to distance themselves from the actions that led to Alexis's death. Prosecutors outlined a case built on surveillance footage, forensic evidence, digital records, and confessions. They argued that this was not a momentary loss of control, but a sequence of deliberate decisions made after Alexis was already dead. The state emphasized several key points. Alexis had reported Baron Brantley for sexual assault just days before her death. Jordan Jones knew about the report. Baron was not supposed to be at the apartment. Both suspects were present during the fatal incident. Both participated in the cleanup, concealment, and disposal of Alexis's body. During early hearings, prosecutors opposed bond for both defendants. They argued that Jordan Jones posed a flight risk and had already demonstrated an intent to obstruct the investigation. Evidence presented showed that shortly after Alexis's death, Jordan withdrew from Clark Atlanta University and made plans to leave Georgia and return to Michigan. Prosecutors also revealed that Jordan had contacted witnesses and misled members of Alexis's family, falsely claiming that no DNA had been found in the sexual assault examination, a statement that was untrue. The judge denied bond. Baron Brantley's request for bond was also denied, based on the seriousness of the charges and his prior criminal history, which included multiple arrests for violent and non-violent offences in the years leading up to Alexis's death. As the case moved toward trial, a new complication emerged. Defense attorneys for both Jordan and Baron filed motions to sever the cases, requesting separate trials. Each defendant's legal team argued that their client was less responsible than the other. Jordan's attorneys claimed Baron acted alone. Baron's attorneys claimed Jordan played a central role. The court agreed to consider the request. Then came a major setback. In 2023, years after the arrests, a judge ruled that Baron Brantley's confession could not be used at trial. The court determined that at the time of his statement, there were concerns about his mental state and possible intoxication, raising questions about whether the confession was legally admissible. The ruling did not mean the confession was false, it meant the jury would not hear it. For prosecutors, the decision forced a recalibration of strategy. The case would now rely more heavily on physical evidence, surveillance footage, digital records, and Jordan Jones's statements. For Alexis's family, it was devastating. Another delay, another legal hurdle. As months stretched into years, court dates were postponed, motions were argued, evidence was contested, and the Crawford family continued to wait, attending hearings, writing letters, and showing up every time Alexis's name was spoken in a courtroom. At one point, the possibility of bond reconsideration for Baron Brantley was raised. Alexis's mother, Tammy Crawford, submitted a letter to the court, pleading for continued detention. She described the pain of losing her daughter and the fear of seeing one of the people responsible walk free while the case remained unresolved. Her message was simple. Alexis never got to walk away, neither should they. As of the most recent updates, the case remains tangled in pre-trial proceedings. No final trial date has been set. The legal process continues, slow, procedural, and unforgiving. For the Crawford family, justice has not yet arrived, and Alexis's story remains unfinished, suspended between what has been proven, what has been delayed, and what still lies ahead. Alexis Crawford was 21 years old. She was a senior at Clark Atlanta University studying criminal justice. She had plans after graduation. She talked about building a future that meant something. She was one of 9 children, a daughter who called home, a sister who stayed connected, the kind of person whose presence was felt in a room. Those moments still exist, frozen in time, even though she does not. For her family, time split in 2, life before October 2019 and life after. Alexis Crawford was more than what happened inside that apartment. She was loved, she was known, she mattered.